Recent reports circulating in regional media and social networks claim that U.S. 10 Warthog attack aircraft have been used to test a new variant of the GAU-8/A-30mm cannon, a development that immediately provoked alarm in Venezuela and prompted heated discussion across Latin America. The GAU-8/A is the iconic rotary autocannon fitted to A-10s, long known for its exceptional armor-piercing capability and devastating kinetic energy against tracked vehicles and hardened ground targets. The phrase new GAU-8 in these reports suggests modifications to ammunition types, fire control integration, or structural changes to the weapon mount, any of which could materially change battlefield effects and therefore raise legitimate concern. Venezuelan officials and commentators, responding to imagery and unverified witness accounts posted online, described the tests as provocative and potentially destabilizing. Analysts caution that headlines alone rarely tell the full story. Militaries routinely test upgrades in controlled environments, and a test does not equal an operational deployment. Nevertheless, the political optics are immediate. In Caracas, the announcement played to long-standing narratives about foreign interference and external threats, while international observers urged calm until independent verification emerges. The claims also spurred calls within regional diplomatic circles for clarification from U.S. defense authorities. Until more concrete evidence, such as official press releases, telemetry, or independent imagery analysis, is publicly available, the story remains a mix of alarming allegation and plausible technical development, and must be handled with measured caution by both media and policymakers. The GAU-8/A Avenger is a 7-barrel 30mm rotary cannon designed specifically to furnish the A-10 with a highly concentrated, armor-penetrating punch. Its design emphasizes a very high muzzle energy per round combined with precise, sustained bursts, making it uniquely suited to engage tanks, armored vehicles, and hardened emplacements. When coverage refers to a new GAU-8, several technical possibilities could explain that wording without implying a radical redesign. First, new munition types, for example, advanced depleted uranium alternatives, tungsten alloys with improved penetrators, or specialized programmable rounds, can significantly change lethality and collateral effects. Second, upgrades to the gun's integration with modern fire control systems, sensors, or targeting pods could improve first-shot hit probability and reduce required exposure time over target. Third, structural or cartridge feed modifications might allow higher rates of sustained fire, improved reliability, or compatibility with new ammunition containers. None of these changes necessarily amount to a fundamental change in employment doctrine, but each could shift tactical calculus on the battlefield. Better targeting reduces loiter time and exposure, advanced ammo increases armor defeat capability, and improved reliability changes logistics and sustainment. Defense engineers and procurement specialists typically validate such changes through a sequence of ground and flight tests, instrumentation runs, and live-fire trials. Observers will therefore look for corroborating indicators, flight test telemetry, official test unit assignments, or government procurement records, before concluding whether the new label implies incremental modernization or a transformative capability shift. In Venezuela, where national narratives have long emphasized sovereignty and resistance to perceived foreign meddling, reports of new heavy anti-armor capabilities being trialed on U.S. attack aircraft are especially combustible. The Venezuelan government is likely to treat such reports first as a domestic political tool, useful for rallying support, framing external threats, and justifying defense posture adjustments, and second as a diplomatic grievance to present to regional partners and international fora. Even absent firm confirmation, Caracas could accelerate visible military steps such as elevated alert statuses, additional air patrols, or publicized exercises intended as deterrent signaling. Neighboring states will watch closely. Some might echo concerns or call for transparency, while others could use the episode to press for de-escalation. The wider Latin American response is likely to split along geopolitical lines. Countries wary of U.S. military activities may publicly condemn the tests or demand explanations, while U.S. partners with shared security concerns might emphasize the distinction between testing and deployment. Economically, spikes in geopolitical tension can affect energy markets and investor sentiment, particularly because Venezuela sits on large hydrocarbon reserves. Multilateral institutions and regional blocs may face diplomatic pressure to facilitate dialogues or fact-finding missions, but their ability to compel disclosures is limited unless the United States or Venezuela agree to cooperative transparency measures. In short, the immediate political effect is to air grievances and heighten alertness, while longer-term outcomes depend on communication, verification, and whether the alleged tests are corroborated or disproven. From a doctrinal and operational perspective, any substantive change to the GAU-8's ammunition, aiming systems, or mounting characteristics would be evaluated chiefly in terms of three mission parameters: accuracy, lethality, and survivability. Improved accuracy and target discrimination reduce the time the A-10 needs to remain over a high-threat environment, directly increasing aircraft survivability. Increased lethality per round or advanced warhead designs change ground force survivability calculations and could render some legacy armor packages less effective. Survivability improvements that reduce maintenance or increase sortie rates alter sustainment planning and could change force posture in a conflict. Importantly, the A-10 is designed around close air support, CAS. It operates at lower speeds and altitudes to provide precision effects for ground troops. Enhancements to the GAU-8 that enable more precise engagement of fleeting or deeply buried targets would make CAS more decisive, but would also prompt adversaries to adapt. Investing in active protection systems, APS, for armored vehicles, dispersal tactics, or improved air defenses to limit A-10 overflight. The real operational impact also depends on scale. A limited test or a handful of upgraded airframes changes the tactical toolkit but not strategic balance. Mass retrofitting and deployment, by contrast, would have wider implications for combined arms planning. Historically, weapons upgrades often trigger reciprocal countermeasures and tactical evolution rather than sudden unilateral advantage, which means any new capability is only decisive when paired with doctrine, logistics, and training to exploit it. In the weeks ahead, the trajectory of this episode will hinge on the availability of verifiable information and the tone of official communications. If U.S. defense officials acknowledge controlled testing and provide context, describing the trials as part of routine modernization with limited scope and clear safety protocols, it could defuse much of the immediate tension. Transparent disclosure of test scope, timelines, and non-deployment intent often serves as a practical confidence-building measure. Conversely, if the U.S. response is delayed or non-committal, Venezuelan authorities may escalate diplomatically, lodge formal protests, or use the issue domestically to reinforce national unity by invoking external threats. Independent verification by third-party analysts, open-source imagery specialists, or neutral international observers would be especially valuable. Their findings could either validate concerns or demonstrate that the event was a routine, narrowly scoped test. Diplomatic pathways to de-escalation include bilateral talks, involvement of regional organizations for fact-finding, or mutually agreed transparency measures for future tests near sensitive areas. Ultimately, the healthiest outcome would be a combination of technical clarification from the testing party, measured public communication to reduce misperception, and regional diplomatic engagement to prevent information gaps from morphing into broader confrontation. Until such clarifications exist, policymakers and media actors should avoid amplifying unverified claims and instead press for documented evidence that can be independently assessed.